You good to go?
I have to click that screen there.
That's good. Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to the Talk to Danielle podcast. I am your host, Danielle C. Baker. And before we get started, before I introduce my guest, just make sure that you like, follow, and subscribe to whichever channel you're listening or watching this episode on. And today we have a really interesting topic. I love this because I always appreciate talking to people who do more than just what their work is about. So they just take it that one step further. And this is what my next guest really does. I just love the work that she does. I have with me tonight, depending on when you're watching this, the lovely Crystal Watts, who is the creator and designer of IsKream Kultur. So she has this fashion line that's just absolutely beautiful, colorful. And I love how she does it because she always says she loves embracing imperfection. And that is really a message that is absolutely powerful, especially in the world of fashion design. So after saying all of this, I'm going to introduce you to Crystal Watts. Thank you, Crystal, for joining me tonight. I really appreciate it.
Hi, everybody out there. Hi, Danielle. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's a pleasure. I just love it. And I'm so excited that you're on. And we might as well just jump in and just tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell our audience your story and how you got to where you are now.
All right. So I'm the designer of IsKream Kultur. And I really created IsKream Kultur based on the actual experience between my daughter and I. We pretty much had like the same type of childhood experiences of like bullying and trauma, coming from, Black community. We were very, like, my daughter's a lot like me. We were very out of the box with the way we like to dress. And it really wasn't accepted a lot in the community and where we lived and, came from. And so my daughter and I, basically put our experiences together, and I wanted to create something that could really help the youth move forward, and anybody out there in the world that would, be going through some of the same things that we went through, right? So the bullying, the taunting, or just like not being accepted by your own community at times, can be tough. And then it also was combined with several real life changing experiences that occurred within my family. Such as like suicides and things like that were all connected to mental health. And later on through the process, it's like, as I went along this journey of trying to figure out like what I was creating, because originally at first I wasn't sure exactly what I was doing. Right. But as I went through these different life journeys with, my daughter, myself, it became clearer to me as I went along. And then a couple years ago, I was also diagnosed with ADD, and then I also was diagnosed with Graves' disease. And with those two things put together, I basically had my own set of mental health challenges to basically conquer. So, so then after, experiencing suicide within my family, and then my diagnosis, my daughter having some challenges as well, and then also have a son that had a genetic disorder. And I said, you know what? It's clear to me now exactly what I should be doing. I come from a family that's very fashion forward. But, and so I always had a love for fashion. But then I said, you know, I want to do more than just create another fashion brand. I want to create a brand that embraces the thing that we're not allowed to do the most, right? Which is what my daughter, me and her, like, had so much in common. And it's like, everybody wants to be perfect. Everybody, you know, tells you, even as a kid, you're taught, like, you know, color in the lines, you know, like, don't go outside of these lines, you know, put everything in its place. And in my family, we were taught, like, right away, you know, your appearance is important, and how you go out into the world is important, and how you present yourself. And so, with my daughter, she, like, talked about that a lot, and it made me really think about what I really wanted to, you know, be as a designer. And I'm like, I want to be the brand that embraces everything imperfect. I want to be the brand that shows the world that, you know, life isn't always, you know, everything that's in alignment with what we're taught, or, you know, having the perfect suit and the perfect, you know, house and white picket fence, you know. So I figured after a while, like, that was my niche of, like, I always loved everything that was just, like, considered to other people as, you know, not worthy, or, you know, not perfect, or trash. Everything that was trash was treasure to me, you know. And I taught that to my daughter and to my children. And so that's how I knew, like, okay, it's clear to me. IsKream Kultur. IsKream to a new culture of fashion forward influencers or individuals that believe in embracing all things imperfection and creating beauty out of those things. Fashion, even in fashion, like, there's always imperfection, but that's the side that you don't hear about much. You know, people are like, they veer away from that, and they want to show you, like, all of the, like, the cars, the nice cars, and the dream house, and all of those things. And I said, you know, I want to be the brand that embraces the process and shows people how beautiful and perfect being imperfect can be through fashion. So that's what it's all about. And, you know, it gives me the opportunity to also showcase and be a part of the change with the different topics like mental health that, you know, plague the Black and Brown communities. And so that's what fashion is for me. You know, I get to use my fashion platform to, you know, really, you know, shed light on mental health and other topics in my community.
And that's big, because especially in the fashion world, people try to stay away from that. And the fashion world can actually cause some additional mental health issues, because we are always bombarded with this unrealistic image of what beauty and perfection is. So this is incredible. And just the fact I'm just blown away by what you're saying. You know, you were dealing with your own challenges, having to, you know, everything that's coming around, and you're starting your own business. A lot of people would say, I'm going to wait till, you know, I'm a bit more things slow down, maybe, but you actually just jumped right in. That's right. So with all of that, with dealing, you know, with diagnosis, with family traumas and other things, what are the obstacles of operating IsKream Kultur? How, you know, what is that like for you on an everyday basis?
Woo! That's definitely a roller coaster. but I can name a few. One of the challenges, I'm going to be completely transparent, is like really learning to stay true to myself no matter what. That is hard because really that is the heartbeat of ice cream culture. Me staying true to myself is what, really makes the brand ice cream culture. And so that can be difficult at times with so many different voices and opinions about, what fashion is and, how it should look and how it should be, and getting away from the majority of the fashion industry is all about the traditional realms of fashion and, making everything perfect. And so being that, like, I'm one of the, like Ice Cream Culture is one of the only brands that's all about like, stay away from perfection. So that can be extremely hard because pretty much the whole world is all focused on, make everything look, clean, crisp, and perfect all the time. And so that it's like being this one, neon green fish within a pool of hundreds of thousands of blue fishes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's one of my biggest things. And then two, is capital. Being like being like a Black owned brand, having the finances and the capital needed to really push a brand, because fashion can be very expensive, so being able to have the finances and the manpower necessary to really push the brand where I need it to go. Because for me, I want ice cream culture to be respected as a high-end luxury brand, high-end luxury custom clothing brand. And so when people think about all of the bigger, big major brands, I want them to think ice cream culture. And so as a Black owned designer, there's so many obstacles, to like jump over or, jump through to get there. Right. Yeah. And so these are the things like behind the scenes that people don't, they try to stay away from. They don't really want to talk about these parts, but these are the things that I feel people need to hear about most, because a lot of times people want to know, or they may ask, how do I support? How do I support ice cream culture? What's the best way to, really, be a supporter? And the best way is to really like buy the clothing, support them, and share and like the materials, share it with as many people as possible. You know what I mean? And really support the product, because the more you buy the product, the more the brand grows and it reaches the masses, So when you don't have the sales, you can't reach the masses. So, I think it's important for people to know that, that like, if you really want to support, Black designers or Black and brown designers, you have to like buy the product, share and like the product, tell people about the product. That's how we grow.
Yeah, and it is important, especially with the message that you put behind your brand as well, that more and more people want to support. It is important to just that little interaction, that little, share, have a look at this, buy the items. They're great.
Yeah. And it also gives us more leverage to pay it forward in our communities too, when our brands are growing, then we're able to really, invest in our communities more, and we're able to help our youth, have, for people to know, like, the more, our brand grows, the more we can do for our communities.
Yeah. And that's very, very important. And I love how it's, sorry, I don't know if anybody who's watching the video noticed my video cut out for a half a second there, but I did get everything that you said. And
oh, okay, good.
It's such an important message. And I like how you say you're being transparent. A lot of people or other people that are starting, not necessarily in the designing world, but in starting their own business, and they're going through those challenges, and their brand can only reach a certain level. They can't take it further if there's no support. And so it's important for people to hear that, to know that there is a way to get out of that and, push through. And I also like how you said that the neon green fish in a sea of blue fish,
yes.
Because it kind of leads me into my next question about, your brand was just recently at the Paris Fashion Week. And I thought that was absolutely amazing. And I could just see, because it's so vibrant. Anybody who hasn't seen IsKream Kultur clothing, please go check it out. And I will give all the information at the end, but it's so colorful. It's so vibrant. It's full of life. The models are absolutely incredible. So just to be there, that definitely would have stand up being on the streets, because I saw you taking footage and pictures and photo shoots on the street, would have definitely gotten noticed. So tell us a little bit, how did it feel to say, like, I'm starting this? I've only been doing this for a couple of years, and I'm in Paris. How did that feel?
Oh my gosh, I think I'm still like in awe about it. I feel like I was like, whoa, like, we're really here. Like,
yeah.
It was such an amazing experience. And I'm a big believer of Christ. And so I was just like, wow, like, so grateful and so thankful and so humble for the opportunity to, be on a Paris runway, and being there. It was kind of like an out of body experience, so to speak. And it felt surreal from time to time, it just felt so surreal. But I kept reminding myself of all the other designers, Black and brown designers out there who, like, that this is the moment that they work so hard for, to get to, Paris Fashion Week and be invited, outside of their front yard to go and debut their collection. So I felt like I was doing it for all of my people, for like everybody was like on my shoulders, and I'm like, I got this. For all of us, right?
Yeah, that is amazing.
Yeah. It was just amazing. And it's like, I could describe it, but it like wouldn't totally do it justice,
That's right.
But
it's just a real experience.
It was amazing. And I definitely want to give, a major shout out to High Tech Moda, who is the company that, the production company that I worked with to go and debut my collection in Paris Fashion Week. So definitely High Tech Moda is like amazing. They made it extremely, smooth for me. And it was just an amazing experience. So yeah, just like kudos to High Tech Moda, kudos to all the models, like all of it was great. Even like the makeup crew with High Tech Moda, like everybody was just so friendly and like embracing us. And I was nervous originally going because people share with you their experiences, and a lot of people share with me their experience of, being like, hey, being like, you're a Black or brown designer going to Paris. Like it might be a little racist here. It might be there. And it was just like, I didn't get to experience that. So I felt very grateful, and just, very honored to be there. And, everybody was just so welcoming and pleasant and just, it was just like being in a whole nother world. Like, even just walking through the malls there was like, people were like taking photos of us. And, here in like Chicago, how I dress is normal, it's just like a regular thing. And then there, it was just so different. And people were like stopping us and like, oh, like, look at your outfit. And like, you're an American? I'm like, yes, I am,
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was really cool. So really enjoyed Paris, enjoyed the full experience of everything. And just being on that runway was just like, I felt like I was literally like watching my dreams happen like right before my eyes. So
that is
it was amazing.
It's such a I have goosebumps just thinking about it. Just the fact that you're living in like an out of body experience, but also the fact that you didn't let those, those little comments or those fears of, it's a different language. There might be some racism. You're going to be judged because it's different, but you went for it anyway, and you had some positive, great experiences. A lot of people will shut their dreams down for fear of, but that you just have to keep going, and that's what you're doing.
Right.
You really are giving a voice. Yeah, you're giving that voice.
Absolutely. And my team, they held me together too. They held it together. We prayed together while we were down there, because I would have moments where I would just get, like, whoa, this is really happening. And I would like have some anxiety. I'm like, yes, this is happening. Like, whether I'm ready or not, this is happening,
Yeah.
And, my team was like amazing, and they like cheered me on the whole time. And I reminded myself that like walking through the fire is what I call it when I'm nervous or, I have a lot of anxiety. I'm like reminding myself, walk through the fire because there's greatness on the other side. So just keep going,
Oh, that's a great visual. Yeah. When it's real, but it's real.
Yes. Exactly.
Now we got to do this. Now we got to walk the talk. Yeah.
Yes.
That's amazing. You did mention, you talk about, putting focus on mental health in the work that you do. Can you kind of share with us what it is that how do you use IsKream Kultur to raise mental health awareness, to kind of put it out there and send a positive message?
So a lot of how I use IsKream Kultur is to really put the message out there. Is a lot of like what I generally do is I have different thoughts or feelings that may come to me in the process of creating. And so I always jot down, I think about like when like Oprah, like she always says how when you write down things, right, that, that like helps you to like heal and grow, right? And so it's like important for me to like write down the things that come up for me when I'm designing. And I get different feelings and thoughts and things that come up for me, right? Or images. And so what I generally do is I take those thoughts and those feelings, and I don't care what I'm doing and where I'm at, I will find a way to like write it down, add it to my notes, whatever it is. So I store those thoughts and those statements or feelings that come to mind or come to heart. And I put those thoughts on the clothing. So it could be a fact about the amount of gun violence in Chicago. I can put that on on a clothing item. I can put it on a varsity jacket. I can, I like to basically take fashion and turn it into an actual walking billboard. That's what it is, for us. And that's how IsKream Culture actually, uses mental health, to really, bring awareness. I might have a thought about, it's okay to cry sometimes. That's a quote that I'll embroider onto a sweater. So because I want people to know that, like, you're a real person, and all of these different things that we encounter or we go through in life, they only happen to make us better. No matter how rough they are or how smooth things go, whatever it is, it's all a makeup of building you into who you really, who you truly are,
Yeah.
So.
And that's beautiful, because those are things that people don't want to talk about. They avoid those. So just to put it out there, sew it on, or, they just have it on. It's huge, because it's important for everybody to know that we all have those thoughts. We all have those feelings, and it's normal,
because it's pure. Like I've shared from time to time, I may share share with my little friend group, like different thoughts that I may have, like, I'm just, it could be something like, I'm just extremely scared of what the next chapter of my life looks like. That's something that I would literally like print onto my garments, because it is a thought for someone, you know what I mean? So that's how we really embody mental health in a way where others can, really see it and, grow from it.
That's it. Yeah. Is there something that you wish you could change about mental health and how we see it or how it's handled?
Absolutely. I feel like sometimes, and this is just my personal view of it, I want to throw that disclaimer out there. This is my personal view of it. I feel like sometimes people think that like mental health is this thing that's not really real. It's just, it's like, oh, maybe this is just like a phase, they're just, having a moment, and, it'll be okay. And you know what I mean? And then it's just like, I don't know, like, oh, just go to sleep and you'll wake up and you'll feel better tomorrow. And it's not like that, I like to say that, like, I like people to view mental health the same way they view cancer, or, the way they view, for, whatever they consider as a serious medical, condition, or, medical journey in their lives. I'd like them to view it the same, because it's extremely real. And it's not one of those things where, people can just say, well, if I knew that this person was going through this, I could have done more. It's not really like that. It's not one of those things where you can just fix it, it's just, I can fix this and then I can move on. It's something that you spend your life managing, it never quite just goes completely away. It's kind of that thing that can like sneak up on you, and you can be in a whole nother space, like you can be great now, and 15 minutes from now, you can, for some people, they can be in a whole nother space. You know what I mean? So I want people to really take it more serious, and even like employers. I wish employers took mental health more seriously, and they had more just like more solutions, for their employees that may have, mental health challenges. And it's not always something that's like this, it's not always something that you can see.
That's right.
I think that's another thing that people like, they're always looking for a visual of it. And there's like no face to it. So those are some of the things that I wish, could really like change.
You're right. And I like how you said that, people are trying to fix you, and that frustrates me when I hear that, because the person is not broken.
Exactly.
That's just how they are. That's how they're wired. And we just have to be there to hold that safe space for them. But there's nothing to fix. The person is not broken. We just have to be there.
Exactly.
Or give them the space, because sometimes you don't need to be there. You just So
people do assume that like, oh, okay, so you have mental health. People like, oh, something's wrong with this person because they have these mental health challenges. No, it's just my brain is wired differently from yours. The way my brain thinks or takes in information is just different from the way someone else's brain operates or takes in information. But it doesn't mean that you have to be like, oh my gosh, wait, this must be, you know what I mean? Like there's something wrong with this person. Like it's on different levels for different people.
That's right. That's right. And there's no cookie cutter remedy. There's no cookie cutter way of handling it, because even for the same person, it changes depending on what they're going through or as life progresses. So it is.
Absolutely.
And keeping in that same kind of thing, because you're running this business, you have to be out there networking, you're dealing with obstacles, you're dealing with your family. How do you keep a balance? How do you balance everything in your life? Just to see, like, how do you keep it together?
I know, that's a great question. Because actually, I don't keep it together. I don't keep it together. I don't even try so hard to balance everything. I feel like that's another thing that I had to get away from for myself, is comparing myself to how everybody else does things or how the masses says, things should be done. I had to learn that like I have my own journey, and what might work for someone else may not work for me, or what may work for me may not work for someone else. And like I have to do things at my pace, and like what works for me, and not compare, because that's the dangerous game that we've been taught by society. It's like that comparing yourself to other people and how other people have success and how other people, live their lives. And, what we've been taught is like success and, and greatness, right? So I had to like totally, start all over again and like scratch everything that I was like taught, even like as a kid, like scratch all of that, erase it all the best that I could, because it takes time, and recalibrate my mindset to know that it's okay for me to, to be successful in a different way. You know what I mean? Maybe for someone else, success is, hey, having the big mansion and, having, I don't know, a Maybach or a Bentley, and, having this, traveling all the way around the world. But for me, I've learned that, success can be, I've actually read my whole entire book that it maybe took me months to actually buckle down and, read this book that I know I was supposed to read, But, now I finally read it and I read the whole book. That's success. You know what I mean? It's like progress. And I've had to learn that it's not perfection, it's progress.
Oh, I like that. Yeah.
So that's, I'm just in my own little, in my own little bubble of journey here. And I'm embracing that, because it can be very scary, trying really like success for me was always honestly very scary, and I think it was very scary for me for so long because I saw like how everybody else was doing it and what I was taught, growing up of like what success was. And I kept feeling like that doesn't work for me. Like, so, how do I get to success in a way that allows me to not, a way that allows me to truly embrace who I really am. And I'm the person that I'm not perfect. I can count the number of times that I'm able to talk through a sentence without stuttering over a word or getting, I don't know, just like dropping something. I don't know. I'm always doing something that's nowhere near perfection. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like, I want people to know that like success is what you believe is successful for you. So if that's, taking a walk every day and being consistent with that, that's success. Helping your kids with their homework every day and, helping them feel confident, that's success. Being able to look yourself in the mirror every day and give yourself a high five, that's success. So things like that is what helps me to keep going because, I have my own version of success and I feel good about that, embracing my own version of it. So.
And that's really what matters is how you progress and forget everybody else. It's your journey.
Absolutely.
Amazing. Yeah. That is like one of the questions I was going to ask you. You kind of answered it, but I'm still going to ask in case you have more wisdom to share. But is there any advice or advice or wisdom that you wish you would have known earlier in life to make your life easier? Or is there something you'd like to pass on with your children to say, I want them to know about this just so that they could have life a little easier? Yeah, anything like that?
Absolutely. If I could turn back the hands of time and tell like my younger self, especially like my younger self, one of them would like a couple things. One would be to just be you. I would tell myself that it is totally fine to just be me. When I was younger, I had such a hard time embracing like my own like eye shapes. I always had like big eyes and big round eyes. And it was the hardest thing for me to do. And I think it was because, again, like growing up as a kid, kids aren't taught to really accept differences, or it's so different that they don't understand, right? And so for me, I've always wanted to, if I could go back, I would tell my younger self, like, girl, embrace those eyes, embrace the curly hair. I've always had this curly, kinky, but long, hair. And so as a teenager, in high school, everybody was straightening their hair and doing all this other stuff. And I struggled with wanting to like fit in, and not be the one always sticking out like a sore thumb. But where I'm at now, I finally realized that this is my purpose. I'm supposed to stick out like a sore thumb because this is my purpose. And that's what I'm here to do, to help people understand that it's okay to be exactly who you are.
Yeah.
You don't have to be anything different. And that's my number one thing that I teach my kids all the time. You know, people always ask me like, okay, like, you know, what is it that you want the most for your kids? And for me, I always say for them to be the best version of themselves. I don't want them to be what I want them to be. I want them to figure out their purpose, their calling, and to be the best at it, you know, because there's only one of them. Nobody can be me. I can't be them. So they are the only people that can do them well.
Yes,
you know? So I just always want, you know, if I could, that's like my number one thing. Be you and be you well. Like do it to the best of your ability to just always be authentic to who you are and embrace all the things that people say are like wrong about you, or maybe it makes them uncomfortable. Whatever that is, still embrace it because it's the thing that makes you you.
Great. That's your superpower. It's just it's wonderful. I love that. I've never asked anybody this question before, but I want to ask you is, can you tell us something about yourself that nobody knows about? It's just,
whoa.
Putting it out there.
Oh, wow. I almost forgot that one was So the number one, like one of the things that people don't know about me is that like, I'm really an introvert. I am an extreme introvert. I enjoy my own company. I do. I enjoy my own company. I'm a very shy person. And most of the time when people talk to me, they're like, no, like there's no way that you're shy. But I'm literally like, I'm very shy. I've always, number two, I've always loved to sing, but because I'm so shy, I've like, haven't really like fully embrace that part of me yet. And so that's something that I'm challenging myself to do in the next upcoming, in the next upcoming year to like really go into that part of me, because I've just always been like the person that likes to be more in the background. I don't really mind not being seen as long as, my job, I'm doing my job and people are, I'm able to impact people in a special way, in a positive way that helps them to grow in their lives. Yeah. If it was up to me, I would be the invisible man. I don't know. The invisible person in fashion, okay? The invisible fashion designer.
Yeah, right. Then that's not possible, but yeah.
I know,
right? That's a good answer. I really like that one. Tell us, what are you working on now? What's new? What's coming up for IsKream Kultur and for yourself?
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I feel like my head is spinning. Like I said before, we have so much coming up, so many things we're in the works of, and so many things we're doing and embracing right now, right? So, wow, where do I start? One, I'm just starting to really film and get start working on this new reality show I've been invited to be a part of. It's on a new platform channel called the Black Girl TV. Yeah, Black Girl TV. And yes, it can be downloaded. So I want everybody to go out there and download Black Girl TV. And it's created by this amazing new Black and Brown owner. I don't want to give too much right away because you're going to need to go download it and watch the episodes. And of course, my episode of Ice Cream Culture will be a part of the show. And we'll either be on season 2 or season 3. It'll be one of them. Nice. So you just got to download so you can figure it out and see which season Ice Cream Culture will be on. But we'll definitely be on the Black Girl TV network channel. Let's see. Other than that, we also have our newest Ice Cream Culture's newest holiday kids and babies collection debut. It's coming. Nice. So that'll be coming in December. So I'm very excited about that, including the babies. And the new holiday collection is very dear to my heart. And it's something that I wanted to do for, just families as a whole, and, just help families embrace their more fun, goofy side. Right. So that was a little hint.
I love it.
Want to embrace the laughter this holiday season. So definitely look out for that. We also have our newest Culture Kids book coming out. So Ice Cream Culture will debut the first Culture Kids children's book. Yes, in December. So look out for that. We have our new water brush collection, which will be debuting in Chicago in January, and also in New York Fashion Week in February.
Wow.
So, yes. And then from there, we have some new runway shows that will be coming up in Toronto, Atlanta, and more. Okay. So we have a lot going on, a lot of work, but a lot of fun. And I have an amazing team to do all of this with. All of this building with my family, because I don't know if many people know, but Ice Cream Culture is a family-owned luxury brand. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we have a lot of fun.
That is amazing, and that is a lot. You have a lot going on, but I anybody who's listening right now, I invite you to go and watch the video, because when Crystal talks about it, she just lights up. She's just, everybody would think I'm exhausted. I don't have the energy. That's a lot of work, a lot of planning, a lot of creating, but you're just smiling, you're beaming, and you're all excited about it. So you're doing the right thing when that happens. It's just beautiful to see you in action. And I just love that. I'm going to ask one more question before we wrap it up. And that's a question that I ask everybody, because I made a promise to a little girl a few years back. And my question to you is, what do you want to be when you grow up?
Oh, that's a cute one. I love that question.
I know.
That's a cute one.
It's my favorite one.
What do I want to be when I grow up? Let's see. When I grow up, I'd like to be a household luxury name. I would love for Ice Cream Culture to be a household luxury name that, really helps people grow mentally, physically, spiritually, and just all over. I would love to really be able to travel around the world and share Ice Cream Culture with more youth, and really help change lives through fashion, because I feel like that's where, fashion is looked at in such a surface type of way. And so I want people to really know Ice Cream Culture for being the brand that takes people beyond the garments.
I love that. That's a great thing to be. And it sounds with everything you've got going on, you're getting there. You're definitely
Yes,
on the right track. That's amazing. And how can people reach you, follow you if they want to learn more about you? They can see, because you're very active, especially on Instagram, to see what you're really all about. How can they reach you? And I'll add that to the comment in the description of the episode.
Awesome. So anybody can reach us, follow us, like us, and share our information at IsKream Kultur. It's at IsKream Kultur on all of our platforms: YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, any platform. You can find us at IsKream Kultur. If you want to learn more about our brand or support our brand as well, go to IsKreamKultur.com. There you can see all of our wonderful collections, all of our new and upcoming items. You can get little sneak peeks there. And if you want the latest events or news about IsKream Kultur, please go to IsKreamKultur.com to subscribe to our newsletter. That's how you'll get all the latest news on us, all the exclusive events, everything there is to know about IsKream Kultur. Go to IsKreamKultur.com to subscribe and follow us and like us on every single social media platform.
That's amazing.
Yes.
And of course, make sure you download Black Girl TV or Black Girl TV to see this episode for
Black Girl TV Network. Yes. Yes.
And again, support the businesses. You mentioned that, so everybody do interact on the social media, share, refer people to the site, just to support the cause and support the businesses, so that we can take it, you can take it
absolutely
further.
So we can take it to the next level and be able to actually partner with more mental health organizations and brands, and bring people, like I said, bring people beyond the garments, and we can get out and we can impact more of the youth and more people, more women, more men, more, just everybody. Because IsKream Kultur is about embracing who you are. So we don't discriminate. We don't care who you are. We want you to know that you are perfectly made just as you are. So yes, follow us, like us, support our brand, and always remember, always let your imperfections show. Why? Because the world needs you exactly the way you are.
That's beautiful. That is wonderful. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing your beautiful story. I love your work. I just admire everything that you do, and I'm really happy that you wanted to come on. And I will be sharing all the information so people can follow you, support the brand, and see what's coming up next, because it's really exciting. So Thank you again.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
No problem. For everybody watching or listening, thank you for joining in. Make sure you follow, like, subscribe to whatever channel you're watching us from, and make sure that you follow Crystal as well on the IsKream Kultur sites. And we are, with that, we're going to say goodnight. And until then, stay safe, stay awesome, and we'll talk soon.
Yeah.